Welcome, everybody. Midlife Vices, episode 73. Squirt some tears. Every once in a while, you watch one of those shows that just hits you the right way or the wrong way, and get you right in the feels. And that's what we're going to be focusing on tonight for our list. It's going to be the top 10 emotional moments in sitcoms. So we are going to get to that soon. But before we get there, we got to do our other stuff here. So what is going on, Jim? Happy Tuesday.
Hey, happy Tuesday to you
Saturday.
too. Happy
Saturday,
Saturday, whatever day of the week it is.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Fighting
Good.
the weather, shoveling the snow, but doing great.
We went to town and got our Christmas tree today, and I've already had it knocked over by the pets once. But other than that, things are going good. Christmas shopping is done.
Nice. Yeah, it's always nice to get that out of the way early. We got majority of ours done. We spent yesterday down at my parents' house and exchanged gifts with them. We're going to be out of town over Christmas, so we went ahead and did that yesterday. And so that part is done. And then we just got next week we're heading up to my in-laws, and we'll be up there for a few weeks for Christmas. So should be a good time.
Nice. How long will you be there?
About 3 weeks.
Oh.
We'll probably be back around the 5th or 6th of January, something like that.
Nice.
So anybody watching this that knows where I live, please don't rob my house.
Especially since last time you left the doors wide open.
For 3 weeks, yeah, when it was 20 degrees outside. That was no biggie.
Yeah.
No biggie.
Let's see. My brother should actually be here this week. We're excited for that. Haven't seen him in about 6 years. A little over 6 years. So looking forward to that.
How long is he going to stay?
Just a night. He's just driving through. So
quick one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all he has time for.
Yeah.
He's a one night stand kind of guy. So, but yeah, looking forward to that. My boys haven't met him yet, so they're meet their uncle, and I mean he's a really fun guy. So
right. That's cool. I'm sure they've seen his picture and stuff and kind of know who he is.
I don't even know if they have.
No?
Well, they've seen pictures of our wedding, so.
There you go.
You know, every 5 and 3-year-old wants to look at pictures of his parents' wedding.
You should put it on some slides. Do a slideshow.
Yeah, put some music behind it.
Yeah, for sure. A Griswold family Christmas slideshow. And you can be like, yeah, the kids would love that. Little kids love that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think they really appreciate it too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. So you watch anything good this week?
Watch some Modern Family. Pretty much that's our go-to sitcom right now.
Yeah.
Me and my wife both really enjoy that show. I laugh a lot during that show. Phil just cracks me up in it.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. You said you watched 8-Bit Christmas, right?
I did. Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah, I watched 8-Bit Christmas. Really enjoyed that. It's might as well be a Christmas Story 2.
Yeah.
Even though there is a Christmas Story 2, this is a better one. Yeah, you know, I gotta shout out Neil Patrick Harris. He's a great actor.
He is really good, isn't he?
I mean, his role wasn't overly big in this movie, but I believe him in any role he's in.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see him on Broadway or something someday too, or, because I know he does a lot of that. He's been in quite a few shows, and I bet he's really good.
He's hosted too, so. The Broadway,
Tonys?
The Tonys, yes, quite a bit. He has some great introduction music numbers for the Tonys. I don't know if you've ever seen any of those, but
yeah,
he's funny. He's I'm a fan of NPH.
Yeah, no, 8-Bit Christmas. Yeah, and it wasn't I mean, I thought it was predictable, but it wasn't predictable, and it was such a great story. Such a I typed on Twitter that it's really because that's the time frame when I was that age, so that adds a lot to it for me too.
Yeah. So on our Christmas show, Chris Evans had it as his number one, right?
Right.
So
Or somewhere on there, yeah.
I asked him if he was able to get all the jokes, the Power Glove and stuff like that, because
Right.
that was pretty much right in my wheelhouse as far as
Oh,
growing
yeah.
up. That,
Yeah.
and
Sure.
we're about 12 years older than he is. So I was like, "Did you even get?" That's almost sounds condescending, and I don't mean it that way in the least. But I was like, if I was 10 years older, I'm not sure I would have got a lot of that humor or
Right.
the references or whatever.
Right.
But he says he thinks he does. So
Yeah.
it's it's the perfect movie, almost like Ready Player One, for me,
I agree. Yeah. That's a good analogy with it there.
So
It was a
yeah,
lot of
it
fun. Do you
was
remember the pad that Nintendo came out with for the Olympic Games and stuff?
that you could
And it was
run on.
supposed to help people. Yeah, you could run on it and stuff. And after 20 minutes, everybody's just laying down, slapping the pads with their hands and
Pushing
stuff.
the
And
buttons on it or
really did. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, did you ever use the Power Glove?
No, I think I tried it once. A friend had it, but I mean, it was portrayed pretty well in that show.
Yeah, that's
Just useless.
exactly how I remember it, even though I never owned it as well.
Yeah.
But it was everyone wanted one, and then
Uh-huh.
everyone hated it. So
Yeah.
it was
Nice.
great. Nintendo was a
Yeah.
big deal.
Oh, it was huge. And we had one person in the neighborhood who had one. And everybody would. I mean, it was a small town, so we didn't have that many people waiting. But yeah, we were hoping to get invited over to play.
Yeah, the dog getting hit by the TV. I did not. I didn't see that coming, which I loved.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that and the dad with the sander after he gets it for Christmas.
that's hilarious.
That made Heather just die laughing. She was
Uh,
cracking up before I even understood the joke, what was going on. She
yeah.
was just crying. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty funny.
So we've been watching the Santa Clauses on
Oh,
Disney Plus, and we're through 4 episodes now. It's a lot of fun. It's really good. Tim Allen. He's great in it. And Cal, I can't remember his last name. He's really good too. I can't even think of his last name.
oh, I thought that was the name of the main character. It's not.
No, that's one of the characters, but it's also the actor that plays. He was in West Wing and
Who do you play in West Wing?
I can't even remember now.
Josh Lyman?
No. Nope.
Yeah, I can't.
Anyway, he's great. And
Whoever
they
that
have a couple cool little jokes in there. Because his Mrs. Claus is played by the actress, I can't think of her name, who plays Juliet on Lost.
Oh,
There's
really?
a couple quick jokes in there about that, and then there's Tim Allen makes some kind of Easter egg type jokes about some stuff that's pretty funny. So yeah,
that's he. I mean, I don't know if he has anything to do with that in his movies, but there's a lot of, like in Toy Story, there's a Binford toolbox, and
right.
I enjoy that.
Well, he's playing Santa Claus in this, so he mentioned somebody getting a Buzz Lightyear doll for Christmas or something.
Yeah, so. I enjoyed Tim Allen. I enjoyed his stand up. I enjoyed his shows.
Yep.
Makes me laugh.
Cool. But really, I mean, other than what else did I watch? Just watching shows for this week's list. As you were saying earlier, man, this show we're talking about emotional sitcoms. And when you sit down and you watch 3 or 4 or 5 of those in a row, you kind of need a break in between.
I didn't even watch whole episodes. I just watched scenes. Which might be worse because it just went from one gut punch to another, you know.
No breather in between.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. So
But like,
cool.
I knew my number. I knew probably 6 of these without even having to look up
Yeah.
anything.
I had a couple that I thought were going to make it, and then when I watched them, they didn't make it.
I
Uh,
I have one on my list that will be a spoiler for you. I apologize.
oh, that's okay. We'll just wait and talk about it once we get to the
Yeah, no, I
higher
mean,
number.
no, it's going to spoil the show.
Oh, I see. Oh, you're going to be talking about obviously. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
How I Met Your
I mean,
Mother.
it's really not a big deal. It's just
Right. Well, I mean, the show's been going for how long has it been over for now? I think we're out of the spoiler zone.
I
So
don't know, enough to get a sequel.
right.
Long enough to get a sequel.
Right. So, but tonight we're actually going to talk about some comics and do a quick review of a few comics we have read.
It's Loster in Comics time. Loster in Comics. Who's lost? I'm lost. It's Loster in Comics.
We aren't just lost in comics. We are loster because, well, I am anyway. I usually don't know what's going on. And my review tonight's going to kind of show that. I'm going to go ahead and just start right off here. These are, I'm kind of like Jim with these. I'm kind of like you. We get these maybe a week to a month late, depending on when they ship to us. Well, you're not getting them anymore. So, but the first one I'm going to talk about is Daredevil
Hey, I have that.
number 4.
No, I don't have that.
Daredevil number 4 of the current run. It's a good book. Matt and Elektra, they end up on some island with Cole, who a cop that he met quite a few issues ago, and Foggy. I don't remember why those two are there, but the Daredevils are there to take over the Fist, which is supposed to be the good or the opposite of the Hand. Some big green guys there. Matt and Elektra become the king and queen of the Fist or something like that. The art in the book is average. It doesn't hurt it. It's not great. But overall, the stories, it's a fun read. It'd be better, I think, if I remembered the first 3 issues, but it's been like a month since I read those.
So Coles, he's the one that arrested Daredevil. Wayne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's with them on this island. And I'm sure I read why he's there, probably in issue 1 or 2. Or maybe I wonder if I missed issue 3. I don't know. I may have. I don't know.
You either missed it or you have 4 of them.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But I am going to give this one 3 pouches. 3 pouches for this rating for Daredevil number 4. This is on a scale from 1 to 5, basically. So it's average. It's a good story. It worked as a standalone without me remembering what was going on already.
Nice. All right. Should I go next?
Sure.
Mine, I don't have the book here. I didn't know we were going to do that.
Nope, that's cool. You don't have to.
Mine are all trade paperbacks and volumes because that's what I've read. I finished Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 7. Really enjoyed it. It's probably had my best single issue comic of the IDW run of the Turtles.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot.
What's weird is I don't exactly remember which one it is right now in that book, but I remember after I finished, I was like, I loved that story. That's my favorite comic I've read in here. But like every other book, it ends off with the pretty much the same situation as every other book.
Right.
Well, just, but they keep pulling magic out of the, they pull the same rabbit out of the same hat every time. So it's working.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy with this TMNT story, isn't it?
It is.
We've heard the same story with every character now.
Yeah, each character is left, and you have not finished Volume 7, right? So I won't spoil it for you. But when you do finish it, let me know if we can talk about it a little.
Okay.
Anyway, I give that whole volume probably 4 pouches. Nice vest.
Nice. 4 pouches. 4 pouches. All right. And then that's going to take me to Kill or Be Killed. Trade paperback, volume 2. I read the first 2 issues in this today. Man, this is a good book. It's a really, really good book. Chris turned me on to this. Of course, he's a big Brubaker fan. This is one of his favorites for sure. I love the art in this. What I like about the art in this book is it's not fancy. It doesn't try to be fancy. But I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. But it shows you what you're reading is what you're seeing. And I like that. That's what I want in a comic book. So, yeah, I don't need it to get crazy or anything and make me try and think about what I'm looking at. So this one, man, I can't even remember the main character's name now. He's continuing his growth as a vigilante, becoming more comfortable with killing people. It's getting easier for him. He kills a guy in a bathroom. When he opens the bathroom door, there's a couple cops there. He ends up escaping. Gets pretty pumped about the whole thing. He's pretty excited about, the adrenaline flowing. And then he goes to a bar and hooks up with some ex-girlfriend, and they end up having sex for the weekend. That's the basics of the story, but it's a really, really good story.
Basics of the story.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's what happens. That's a spoiler alert if you haven't read it. And I give this 4 pouches. 4 pouches. So, yeah.
All right. So the next trade I read was The Many Deaths of Lila Starr.
Ah, yes.
I had heard a lot of great things about this book, and I can see why a lot of people love it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed Death as a character. It seems probably my favorite book is The Book Thief, and Death is the narrator of that story. I enjoy that for some reason. I'm not crazy about the art in the book. It tries to be a little too fancy for me. A lot of background stuff that just makes no sense. Draw people dancing. Don't draw, I don't know, an orgy of people of colors. It's just weird to me.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy the story. And I give that 3 pouches.
3 pouches.
3 pouches.
All right. Nice. Yeah, it was nice to actually show a couple comics and talk about a couple comics.
Oh, I got 2 more to talk about.
Oh, you got 2 more? Okay. Well, then I'll do one more then, and then I'll let you go to your next. Next, we got Batman 129. This is the finale of the arc that includes Failsafe. Failsafe is the name of the character. Of course, this is by Zdarsky. So Batman is in Atlantis being harbored by Aquaman when we start the story, and he knows that Failsafe is coming to get him because he's pretty much programmed Failsafe to know every move Batman's going to make. So Batman gets out of Atlantis and transports up to the space station. What's it called? Space station, whatever. Doesn't matter. And Failsafe meets him up there, and then Batman finally figures out how to trick Failsafe and destroys him. And it ends with Batman floating around in space. He's got a suit on that allows him to breathe, but he does point out in the book that it's like minus whatever temperature it is, and that he's not going to be able to last long. I wouldn't think he'd be able to last any time, but it's Batman. So he is lasting.
And it's fiction.
And it's fiction. Absolutely. I mean, that's always the go-to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that ends that arc. The art is okay. It doesn't hurt it. It doesn't help it, in my opinion. And I also give that 3 pouches. All right.
All right, so the next trade I read was Snow Angels, Volume 1 by Jeff Lemire.
Okay.
We all know I love Jeff Lemire.
Yes.
It's okay. It's not my favorite story by him. It's also not finished, so it ends in a very, have to wait for Volume 2 to know how I feel about the whole story.
Gotcha.
It's good. The art's simple. I like that. I knew what was going on.
So it's not Lemire art then?
Well, Lemire's art's very simple. This is just simple, not very simple.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, I if it was Lemire's art, I'd probably like the story better. Don't ask me why. It's just probably true. It's good. I give it 3 pouches.
It's almost a shame I made up 5 different
I know.
features here.
Well, I'm giving you a new one here.
All right, let's do it.
The last book I read was Blue and Green by Ram V. Again, I heard amazing things about this book. And it did not live up to the hype for me.
No.
Again, good story, but a story I think we've heard 1,000 times. The ghosts of the past, hurting your future. The art was really hard for me. It was kind of like the Department of Truth type of art.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So it just, that does not work for me. Other people can love it. I hope other people love it. It just doesn't work for me. Right. So I give that 2 pouches. Yay.
2 pouches. Nice. Cool.
So that's what I've read this week. Gonna start Robin and Batman by Lemire tomorrow morning, probably. And,
yeah.
What I'm doing is I'm making my way through all the things I haven't read. I'm going to try not to buy a whole lot of new stuff until I read everything I own.
Right.
Heck, I got 4 trades in this week in 3 days or something like that. So.
Oh, it was nice. Yeah, I got some reading in too because of this. And like I was saying to you earlier, it seems like when you read, you want to read more. Like the thing that gets you in the mood for reading is reading. And yeah, you've been pretty much every morning. It seems like when you have a chance before the kids are up or whatever, you're on those books.
Yeah, that's when I do most of my reading, when the kids are still when everyone's still sleeping. I'm wake up early, 4:30 in the morning, whatever, and sit on the couch behind me and read for a couple of hours.
So. Right. Cool. Nice. I like that. Yeah, we'll talk about comics a little more. Try and do a little bit each show on that. Not too in depth, obviously. Mainly, I would go more in depth in my reviews, but I read these books 5 hours ago and I can't remember what happened in them. So, yeah. But that was...
It's Loster in Comics time. Loster in Comics. Who's lost? I'm lost. It's Loster in Comics.
That was our Loster in Comics segment. Loster in Comics. And that's going to take us right into... news and rumors. And this is kind of news and rumors. All over Twitter, been stuff about the DC EU being rebooted, everything being scrapped. Nobody knows. James Gunn responded.
James Gunn is our savior. James Gunn needs to be fired.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's crazy. It's crazy how fast people turn, or, people love him, people hate him. James Gunn responded to that and says some of that stuff is true, some of that stuff is not true, but I'm not going to give a whole lot of details. Is basically what he said, and people are just going nuts. Yeah, people want his job. Let's let him get a first movie out first. Let's or at least let the next DC movie be released first before either making him God or condemning him to hell forever. Just pump the brakes a little bit. I mean, trust what this guy's done. He took the Guardians of the Galaxy, which nobody, I know you all are going to say you knew everything about the Guardians of the Galaxy, but you didn't. And he made them household names. He made us love a raccoon and Drax. I mean, come on. So let's have just a little, give the guy a little chance. Thoughts on that one, Jim?
I don't care about any of the backstory stuff. I don't.
No.
I honestly don't care who the next Superman is, as long as I enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
And if I don't enjoy the movie, I'll be like, I didn't enjoy the movie. Let me get another movie. Or
yeah.
I don't know. I can't take any of it too seriously. It's not. I mean, obviously it's important. I enjoy this stuff, but it's so many more things in life than
for sure
playing Superman.
Right, absolutely.
And who's making $16 million to play and act, to act as a character?
Exactly.
My heart won't bleed for anybody that don't get a sequel.
Nope.
So
no, I'm with you. But so that was. News and rumors based off of random posts on Twitter that we did no research on. So take that for what you will. Yeah. And that is going to lead us into.
You have a mail message.
Our viewer mail. We've only got two letters this week. The first one comes from Howard in Pasadena, and he writes in, "Loving the show. You guys thoroughly entertain me with your witty banter. When I'm watching, I feel like I'm in another world. Speaking of another world, did you know I went to the International Space Station?" Howard, I did know that, actually. You didn't look like you enjoyed yourself, but you were there.
Come on,
you were there. Yeah, you were there. And then the second letter comes from Gloria from Los Angeles. "I'm so happy to see that Jim has such a great relationship with his mother. In my culture, mothers are very clingy to their sons. In fact, the leading cause of death among Colombian women is when their sons get married. But I'm not like that." He does, Gloria. He has a great relationship. We've even talked about his mother a couple times on this show. So thanks for writing in. Any comments for Gloria? Or
love you, Mom.
Nice.
You have a mail message. Oh, yes. Wow.
Now it's time for the you show me yours and I'll show you mine. What do you got for that, Jim?
I have nice. Jim proposing to Pam from The Office. Engraved down here, it says, "I feel like all my kids grew up and married each other. It's every parent's dream." Michael Scott.
Love it.
Me too. That was done by Shadow Rabbit Clay Guy on Instagram. And we love it.
He does great stuff.
We collect The Office stuff. As you can see right back here, got a new puzzle today.
Oh, nice.
And a Christmas themed puzzle.
Awesome.
And yeah, he did that. He's done my old hob as well.
Yeah.
Does great work. And enjoy it.
Cool. Love it. So I mentioned that I spent yesterday at my parents' house for early gift exchange because we're not going to be here. And my dad and mom got me this. It is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures #1. This is the first comic book appearance of Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. And it's signed by Eastman, who did the cover on this book. And then it's also signed by Ben Bishop, who didn't contribute to this book at all, but he did the quite a few TMNT things. He did the Ghostbusters crossover and quite a few other books. So, yeah,
Yeah,
first appearance,
crossover, I don't
Krang.
like.
Yeah, first appearance of Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. First comic book appearance is what it says, but that's first appearance. I mean, so
Well, yeah,
very,
that's
very
awesome.
excited about that. Very
That's
nice
cool.
book. Yeah, love it, love it, love it.
That's fantastic. Great book.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes. Wow.
Thanks for doing the voiceovers there, Mom.
That did sound like her.
I'm sorry, Mom.
All righty. So that is going to take us into tonight's top 10 list. And tonight's top 10, as mentioned, is top 10 emotional moments or episodes of sitcoms. And we are going to start with, as always,
Number 10.
because it'd be weird to start anywhere else in a top 10 list.
It would be. It would be very odd. You want to go? You want me to go?
Go for it.
Okay, my number 10 is Rachel Gets Off the Plane. Friends finale.
That is my number 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want to wait or you want to talk about it now?
We'll talk about it now. Sure.
Okay. I think this is so good because it's funny and emotional. And Ross makes this scene. He's just let her off the plane. It's just it's so good. I had no desire to see them actually get together on the show. I thought they did better apart, but it was still really good. I really enjoyed it. It's funny. It ties their story together. I still can't imagine they end up together. I imagine they're going to break again. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, the show had to end with them together, right? I mean, otherwise fans would have rioted. Like, it would have been crazy for them not to get together. But there's so much I like about that. Just the way, they're talking about we're never going to be apart again. And then Ross makes a joke about, well, unless we're on a break.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of laughs about it. My favorite part about the setup is Rachel and plane, and Phoebe's calling in to try and get the plane stopped and get her off of it. And we find out that the plane has no phalanges.
Yes. And
it's just a great callback to Phoebe using that name for the entire series as her fake name.
So my favorite moment of that whole episode is when she tries to throw the quarters at the toll booth and hits them.
Yeah,
I love that scene because that window is so clean. It cracks me up.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
Yeah, it's a great scene. A great whole the whole episode. The whole finale was fantastic. Really.
Yes, it was. It was, and it ends with them going on with their lives. There's no ending to it. It's just okay. We're off in our own direction. So yeah, I like it.
I don't think there's any other way you can end that show unless you kill them all.
Right. You definitely shouldn't start a sitcom with one of them.
Yes.
Like a spinoff. All right. My number 10, MASH, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen. So this is the finale of MASH. This is, I don't know if it's still the most viewed ever, but I think it might be finale of any episode ever. Seinfeld maybe passed it. But it was like 30 million or something people watched it at the time. So I rewatched this the other day because I couldn't remember exactly how it goes. And there's some emotional stuff in it leading up to it, with Hawkeye talking with the psychiatrist, Sydney, about stuff he had happened to him on a bus. And I kind of remember that as a more emotional scene myself. There's a lady on the bus and they're trying to be quiet, and Hawkeye thinks that it's a chicken that's making noise, so he's telling her to silence it. And she does, and it turns out that it was actually a baby, and she ended up killing her baby. So that's a pretty emotional scene right there.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes by pretty quick, actually, and then Hawkeye's kind of back to normal down the road after that. But just the last, it's a 2-hour episode. The last 20 minutes is pretty emotional. I don't know if it's from being in the military and leaving bases over and over and having to say goodbye to different people, or if it was just those characters and the way they all, left it. But yeah, definitely a top 10 for me as far as that goes. So
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched this episode.
uh-huh.
I didn't get it in. It might have made my list if I would have got it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, man, I don't know. There's so many things I want to watch. Like me and my wife had talked about doing rewatch all of MASH.
Yeah, that's a lot of seasons.
Probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
I want it to. I would love to watch it all, but
Right.
But there's other things I haven't seen. I mean, I still haven't finished Lord of the Rings. So.
Yeah. All right.
Number 9.
Okay, number 9 for me is the also MASH. It's Radar giving the announcement that Henry Blake's helicopter has been shot down.
That's my number 2.
Boy, I'm just working my way right up your list.
You are.
Boy, weird that we have such discrepancy as far as where they're at in our list.
Oh yeah, oh, that's cool though. That's
yeah, and honestly, that's the only scene I watched for this. Obviously for this list.
Right.
I knew this was a scene I remembered.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was talking to my wife about it because she's really likes MASH. She watched it a lot growing up. And she's like, oh, I don't even consider that really all that emotional. She's like, I remember just being shocked. She said, I don't remember feeling anything. She was just, and then, so weird how stuff affects people.
Well, we talked about this in a previous show where, the actors didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Even Radar didn't know. It was written down on the piece of paper that he read when he walked in and they shot that scene. So the only one who knew was Alan Alda.
Well, watching that scene again, I think he knew because he had to have read it before, right before, because he gave the emotion right from the beginning.
Right.
So, I don't think it was he read it and like, oh.
So like he just read it before he walked onto the.
Yeah, I think he knew what he was going to say when he came onto the camera. It's not like he read it for the first time on camera. So,
sure.
Just because he had very good moments of silence, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
While reading it,
for sure.
So,
for sure.
But yeah, it's to have someone you work with and really enjoy as a person get to go home in that situation and then die on the way home. It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, for sure. All right. My number 9, Big Bang Theory, the romance renaissance. So this is the one where Howard's supposed to take Bernadette out to dinner for their anniversary, and she ends up in the hospital. And
how is this
they
not on my
sing
list?
the song to Bernadette.
If I didn't have you, life would be blue.
Yeah. It's just fantastic. It's probably the most humanizing episode for Howard, other than maybe when his Howard's mom's death, or when they do the letters from Howard's dad. But everybody getting involved in this, it's a very, it's not a sad scene at all. It's a happy scene. It's an emotional scene.
Yes, this 100% should have been on my list. I cannot believe I did not think of this scene. Yeah, I go back and watch that probably once a month.
Really?
Yeah. The song makes me laugh. I enjoy it. It's great choice.
It's good. All right.
Number 8.
8 ball. All right, my number 8 is Leslie stands up Ron Swanson for lunch. Parks and Recreation.
It's my number 6.
I'm going to have your bottom half That just sounded.
Oh, we're pretty close on this
That
one.
sounded really weird. I'm going to have your bottom half.
We're pretty close on this one.
Yeah. And this wasn't on my list until I watched it this morning again. I mean, I made a master list, and then anyway, I love his line where me working for the federal government, I'm going to ask you for a job with the federal government, which it just shows how human his character became.
Yeah,
it was,
for sure. Yeah, it was
great.
Yeah, it was for the same reasons. Yeah, I mean, just because you don't see Ron in that situation very often through the whole series. So,
and then even Leslie during that whole scene is like your workplace correspondence is, it just makes me laugh. And you can just tell that it ate him up to watch all the people he loved working with move on.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it was just, it was a good heartfelt moment for his character, which I wish they would have did something like that for him having his new son. I wish we would have got more stuff like that from Nick Offerman. He's a great actor.
No, he is. He's really good. Yeah, it's amazing. And his character was he was on my top characters of all time list. So, yeah.
Yep. So that's my number 8.
My number 8 is Diane Leaves Cheers. So this is season 4, season 5, whatever it is. Season 4, I think. I may be wrong about that. And it's just the lead up to it. Them fighting, them having their issues, and then making up, and then, leading up through the season. And then she has that opportunity to leave. And when she walks out the door, she wasn't my favorite character on the show at all, but when she walks out the door and they say it's, 6 months, I'll see you in 6 months. And of course, she doesn't come back until the final episode. Yeah, I'll be back. And then, of course, she doesn't come back to the final episode. It's a rough one. And I think it's more rough now or after I think watching through the first time, you didn't know when people had lost their contracts and stuff. So for all we knew at the time, she was going to come back. But now you know that she's not coming back. And even though I think I like Rebecca better, I mean, she was responsible for kind of changing Sam around altogether. So that was a big one for me.
Yeah, they would have had to do something drastic with their relationship to continue the series like they did.
For sure.
I mean, because they did the will they, won't they for so long.
Yeah.
And so either they're going to end up together or they're not. And that would have changed the whole. I think it's probably for the whole series, it was best.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Now I think she made a terrible decision to leave.
Yeah.
But you know what? She's a good actress too, because she's in Modern Family as the
mom, right?
Mom, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She makes me laugh every episode she's been in. So.
How far are you in Modern Family now?
First 6 episodes of season 3.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we get in maybe 4 a night if we're lucky, if we got nothing else going on.
Gotcha.
So, the other night we watched 8-Bit Christmas, and last night we watched Mystery Alaska. Forgot to talk about that. And, yeah. Anyway.
Number 7.
Oh, man.
I had to make Adam laugh. I'm sorry. Number 7.
Number 7 for me is Pam says goodbye to Michael Scott on The Office.
So this is my number 3.
So I have your 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Let me see. Number 3. Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, there's only so many episodes out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, of The Office, anyway. And the whole episode is great.
Yes. Yeah.
I just put down that one because for when it's silent, which actually works really well. His goodbye to Jim might actually be a little more emotional than then to Pam,
They're in his office. Yeah.
yeah, we're have lunch tomorrow. Just very well done. But I enjoy when he takes off his microphone. He says, "Oh, it's gonna be nice to get this off my chest."
Yeah.
That's what she said. And it's just the whole episode is fantastic.
So there's so many good things in that episode. Yeah, it's Aaron when he's talking to Aaron outside sitting on the bench. He's so fatherly and he's so mature and not Michael. And and you realize, well, he's cared about these people the whole time. He just didn't know how to show it, and he's kind of forced to show it now. When he's talking to her, and then even with the gloves, having the gloves made for him. That scene is subtly emotional. The way he's, the way they're talking back and forth with the mittens.
That Phyllis is making him.
Phil,
it's funny. The more times you rewatch that show, the more you see the good in Michael Scott.
Yeah,
and it's almost the first time you watch it, it's very cringy, especially him. And there's still a lot of that. Don't get me wrong. But when you get to where he leaves the show and you realize how much he cared about all these people, it's pretty emotional. He did a very good job with that role to make you like someone unlikable for 6 years, and then to make you love him. It was just really good writing, good acting, great series. What can I say?
It is. That seems to be a theme with sitcoms, though, is making that unlikable character likable.
Yeah.
Like even Cheers, is Sam really a good person? I mean, he's really kind of not. I mean,
no,
Al Bundy, one of the best characters out there, not a good person. Right? I mean, just
not a good provider, not a good husband.
I mean, so sitcoms are good at making those characters likable. The good sitcoms are. So yeah, for sure. All right, that's going to take us to our next one.
Number 6.
Did you do your number 7?
Oh, nope. My number 7.
Number 7.
Jim and Pam kiss for the first time.
Oh, casino night?
Yeah. So yeah, she finally, Jim's been, of course, waiting to tell her for ever. And her fiance is being a jerk like usual. And it's just a great scene. It's like finally, I think they're there, and it all takes off from there. Even though there's some better scenes, individual scenes that happen before that. I mean, it's obvious it's going to happen. There's no doubt. But,
Creed steals during this. You find out Creed likes to steal. So this whole episode was written by not Michael Scott, but Steve Carell.
Yeah.
It's I mean, this probably doesn't do it for me, probably because I know where it goes the next season, but
right.
It was neat to see. I can't argue with you. I can't argue with it. I mean,
I'm thinking about office scenes right now, and a lot of them happen with the camera at a distance when it's silent. Like this is, they talk before the kiss, but then the camera's outside the window, and it shows them. During the proposal, the camera's at a distance, and you don't hear anything going on.
No, you hear him during the proposal.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is from a distance, but you can hear you. We'll get to that.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Number 6.
All right. Number 6 for me is Randy has cancer scare. Home Improvement.
I don't even remember that episode.
Yeah. Okay. So there's an episode where he gets a lump and they're not sure what it is. Might be cancer. His Tim and Jill don't tell him that part of it.
Right.
So he does the research and finds out that it's possible cancer. He's in an arcade. Tim goes and finds him, and he breaks down, says, "I don't want to die." And it's a really good scene. It's kids and possible cancer. Yeah, that's scary and hits every parent, I think.
Sure.
So, and yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think you have to be a parent to have it hit you. Yeah, I give you just check it out if you haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay.
So, yeah, it hits me right in the feels and makes me hug my kids a little tighter.
Cool.
Turns out it's not cancer, thank goodness. But yeah, it's very well acted by Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Jonathan Zachary Thomas, something JTP. I don't know what his name is, but very well acted. Yeah, it's good. I really like that scene.
My number 6, Sheldon's Nobel speech during the finale.
My number 4.
Okay, cool. Nice. I mean, we've seen Sheldon kind of transforming a little bit since after him and Amy get married, even before.
It's funny we say that. The most character growth of anyone on that show.
What? Who do I think it was?
No, it's him.
Oh, Sheldon? Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, maybe Amy.
Amy had more. Yeah, I mean, you look at her first episode too, but
yeah.
But yeah, the two of them,
definitely from where they started to where they ended up, he had the most growth out of any of those characters.
Yeah. And for him to actually, I mean, I could see him logically making that speech in his head and having it be almost scripted, but they wrote it where it came from his heart. And yeah, it was really good.
Very well done. Even just the humor worked in that. You know, the when Amy does her little speech and then says, "And let me give it to my husband that's not even paying attention," and then you can see him contemplating what's going through his mind, and then he goes, "Oh, good job." You know, just, I mean, even that little, is that Buffy the Vampire Slayer? You know, it's just so good.
Yeah.
There's a reason he was nominated for all those Emmys, and
he's a great actor.
Yeah. Yep. He was fantastic.
Nice.
Yep. So that's my number 4. Your number 6.
That was my number 6. So that's going to take us to
I think I did that on the keyboard.
Number 5.
My number 5 is my spoiler for you. It's from How I Met Your Mother. Marshall's dad dies.
Okay.
And it's not so much that he died. It's the most realistic scene I think I've ever seen of someone telling someone that a parent died or something like that. It hits you. His wife has to tell him, and it's heartbreaking. You know, I can't even imagine having to tell my wife something like that. So I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. I really am. It hits. I don't. It's when you get there, you say, okay, yeah, that's going to make my list, because I'm pretty sure it will. I believe Jason Segel actually improvised some of that scene. So
cool.
But I don't know that. I might be making that up.
That's okay.
It's kind of what we do.
Make it up.
So yes, that's my number 5.
Okay. And my number 5, I'm sure, is much higher on your list. And that is The Proposal.
This is my number 3.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So this almost didn't make my list until I watched it again this morning, because it's been a while since I've seen that specific episode.
Yeah.
When you know they're on chat messaging or whatever, and he says, "Meet me halfway at the place where I spill my drink, or whatever he says. And then they get there, and it's raining, of course, and he kneels down, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I can't wait any longer." It's a great line, and love it. It makes me happy. Let's put it that way. So I'll let you go now.
No, I agree. As far as proposal scenes go, you compare this to any proposal scenes in Friends, and this just blows them away. I mean,
no,
you don't think so?
no,
Oh, okay. Okay.
no.
Okay.
But I mean, as far as emotional, no.
Yeah.
It is emotional. It's a great. It's characters you're rooting for. It's not at the end of a series, which is awesome.
Right.
It's that's one thing I loved about this is there was no will they, won't they, except for like 2 seasons. They got them together, got them married, had a family, and you got to see progress in life. So I mean it's emotional, but we'll get to
sure. Alrighty.
Number 4.
Okay, we've already talked about both of ours. I think Sheldon's Nobel speech for me.
And for me, it's the Rachel gets off the plane.
Rachel gets off the plane.
Okay. So that's going to go to...
Number 3.
Number 3 for me is Jim proposes to Pam.
Oh, right. And mine is the Goodbye Michael.
Great episode.
Mm-hmm. Number 2.
So number 2 for me is another Office proposal. It's Michael proposes to Holly.
Oh man, I forgot about that. That's a good one.
It not only is it great for the proposal, having everyone ask her to marry him as they're walking through the lunchroom. He has Ryan ask her to marry him, and she says no. And he's like, "Oh, I was a little worried about that one." Just funny. And then they get in there, and he proposes to her like Yoda. She accepts like Yoda. The water, the candle set off the fire alarm. Water comes down.
Yeah.
Everyone comes in. They're all excited and they're happy for him. And that's when he announces he's leaving the office too.
Yeah.
So it's a double whammy of emotion.
Right.
It blows Pam and Jim out of the water for me. I really like this scene. I think it's great.
That is, that's a great scene. That could probably replace a couple of my lower ones for sure. It's just so Michael and Holly. It's there's no other character that Michael could have ended up with other than her.
No, she's great.
Yeah. She's the only one who even got him a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's no one else for him. If they would have brought Jan back, I would have stopped watching.
Yeah, she was horrible. Oh, some funny episodes. The dinner party. Dinner party's the best.
See, people love that episode. That's not even probably in my top 10 favorite episodes of The Office.
Oh,
no, I mean people love it. It's the cringiest of all.
It is. Oh yeah, it's by far the cringiest.
There's aspects of it that I think are great. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, as a whole, I love that Jim throws Pam under the bus to try to leave the office party. Not the office party.
That's great.
It's great.
Yeah. Cool. All right. My number 2 was Henry Blake's death. So that takes us.
Number 1.
Our number 1.
So the controversial Friends proposal that I think is better than anything in The Office. Monica and Chandler. So I watched that again today. Not the whole episode, but just that scene. Everything from Joey throwing Chandler off before he goes into the apartment is probably the best acting Joey's ever done. And then Monica not being able to. There's a reason women don't do this.
Yeah.
To Chandler not doing much better. yeah, that scene makes me happy. It almost makes me cry watching it. I say almost just because I want to seem tough.
You are tough. You're very
Thank
tough.
you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't find that one emotional at all. I mean, I think the lead up to it was great, with the scenes at Richard's place, Chandler going over there, and
Yeah,
do you
it was
have a
all
ring? No, I don't have a ring.
it was all a bit ridiculous as far as Chandler's plan, but
Yeah,
once I got to the proposal,
cool. Yeah,
I
no, it's a
love it.
great episode of TV for sure. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, and
Most
that was what, season 6, 5
I
or
can't
6,
remember.
5 or so that was half. So they got married halfway through too. And if you'd asked me at the beginning who was going to be the first married, there's no way
Yeah,
it
I
would
don't
have
think
been those
anyone
two
could have
together.
guessed that.
Yeah. Actually, I remember I was actually visiting a friend up in Alaska at the time when the London episode happened, the season finale, when they wake up and she comes out from underneath the covers, or they don't wake up, but she comes out from underneath the covers, and that was probably the biggest surprise in TV. That was crazy.
I did not watch the show when it came as it aired.
Hmm.
I mean, I liked it. I just
Yeah,
I was too busy drinking and going to bars to watch TV on a Thursday night.
right.
So me and my wife had bought the DVDs and watched them all together when we were first started dating, and so I bet that has a little bit to do with why I love the show as much as I do.
Sure.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
good
No, that was
stuff.
a great episode. Great episode. All right, my number one, Family Ties. My Name is Alex is the name of the episode. It's season 5, episode 23. I watched it. I rewatched this. I hadn't seen it in, well, it's probably since it aired. I think it was 1983 or something was the first time it aired. And I don't even remember. I was 8 years old. So I was looking through a list of episodes, and this popped up, and I threw it on and watched it. And man, this episode, as Marty McFly would say, is heavy. Alex is asked to help his friend Greg do something. He turns him down because Greg shows up to his house late, so he messed up Alex's schedule. So Alex turns him down to help him. Greg leaves, gets in an accident, and ends up dying. The episode starts after all that's happened. So the entire episode is Alex suffering with guilt. He goes and sees a shrink, and is talking about his life, going through everything that's happened from the time he was a little kid, everything that's made him who he is. And it leads to him really questioning. The psychiatrist asks him if he believes in God after all this, and he kind of goes through the logical side and then the emotional side of it. And the setting is like it's on a theater stage. It's him basically doing monologue the whole time. Michael J. Fox, just ridiculous acting, just crazy. There's some fourth wall breaks in there that he does when he's talking, because it's almost like he's talking to a crowd that's watching a stage show. Man, even if you have never seen the show and aren't familiar with the characters, this episode, man, it is something else. It is so good. I recommend it to anybody, whether you like this show or not.
I'm gonna have to watch
hour.
it.
It's an hour long. When they initially aired it, they aired the second half commercial free to make it more emotional and just have it run straight through, so there was no breaks. And yeah, just check it out. Check it out. It's really good. And I was emotional the whole time. I mean, I was choked up the whole time watching it. He just does. And this is after not seeing the characters for 35 years or 40 years now. Wow. It's something else. So that's Family Ties. The title is My Name is Alex. Season 5, episode 23. Really good. Michael J. Fox. I mean, I don't know I didn't look to see if he won an award for this or not, but I mean, he should have, because it was really good. Really good.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. You know what's crazy is, as I was looking through a list of these shows, this was episode 23 of a 30 episode season. I mean, these sitcoms were doing 30 episodes a year back then.
Mm-hmm.
That's just crazy. Now, what, 20, maybe you'll get 25 occasionally. Usually it's 23, 22, 23, or if it's streaming, it's 10 or 12 or 6 or but 30 episodes a season.
I feel like we haven't got an episode of Ghosts in like 6 months.
Oh, we just watched one actually, I watched one right before I came over here.
New one?
This week's, yeah, new one.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because they were just on some kind of hiatus.
Yeah. It was great.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm loving all the characters.
Oh, yeah. They're good.
Thor is fantastic. Thor is almost like the Creed of The Office. You know, he just gets these funny lines here and there that just crack me up.
Well, Flower is my favorite character. She's funny. So honorable mentions.
I don't have any.
You don't have any? Oh man.
No.
Okay, I have
what do you got?
Michael buys the picture of The Office from Pam. Love that scene. Only one that shows up from The Office through art show.
That's right. Yeah.
Ben proposes to Leslie in Parks and Recreation.
That's pretty good.
I really like proposals.
Yeah.
And this one's a really good one. This was on my list until I can't remember which one I told you that I watched and said, oh, okay, that one's coming on. Let's see. Leslie wins the election, which that was just on the list. Phoebe says goodbye to the triplets.
Well, that's a pretty good scene. Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, that might be all I have. That is all I got.
So I almost had, I think I told you this, I had the Anne and Chris episode where they leave. I remembered it being more emotional than it was when I rewatched it.
Yeah,
it's a great scene at the end with them at the park, Leslie and Anne sitting there, and them getting Chris the gifts that they give him, making the box for him and stuff like that after giving him an empty bag. But on rewatch, I actually took it off my list, so I'll use that as an honorable mention. But yeah.
Right.
But this was like you said. This was no.
So, neither one of us had Jesse Spano from Saved by the Bell. I'm so excited.
Very emotional episode.
I know. I mean,
yeah.
No dose or no joke.
There were some others I saw that I remember that were good episodes. I just didn't go back and rewatch them, so I didn't put on my list. And it was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will with his dad.
Mm-hmm. See, for me, man, I hate saying that. That scene always felt forced to me. It felt like, hey, we're going to go for an award. So
right.
But
yeah,
what can I say? I was not a huge fan of the show anyway, but I like Carlton.
All in the Family. Well, actually, Archie Bunker's place when Edith dies.
Yeah, I did see that on a list somewhere.
She actually dies at the end of all. Well, she doesn't die. She's sick at the end of All in the Family, and then when it goes to Archie Bunker's place, the season of that, she dies off screen or whatever, off camera from, I think it's a stroke or something she dies from. And that episode of Archie being distraught is pretty.
Talking to her slipper.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So, so I guess that's an honorable mention too, but didn't make my list. But
yeah, there's a lot of older shows that, like I said, I didn't get to rewatch a whole lot.
Right.
Of shows. So
yeah.
No, so good list. Ones that I knew and ones that I know choked me up. And
good lists. Yeah, I mean they were some sad ones, some happy ones. Watching them all back to back is, I don't know how people do that.
I know, depressing, and
like I told you, it would be like watching a marathon of This Is Us, like just episode after episode after episode. You just want to end it all.
Yeah. I didn't make it
rough.
very far into that series.
No. No, it was also heavy. Always. Even the final episode. It's like, come on. Give us a break.
Just be happy. You're not gonna be
Yeah.
happy with this attitude. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Awesome. So that's going to be it for this episode. Any parting words?
No, I'm trying to think if I have anything coming up this week. Like I said, got a visitor coming, got a crazy work schedule week coming.
Yeah, I'm going to be traveling next week. I told you we're going to try and tape next Saturday if I can. It depends what's going on because I'll be up at my in-laws' place. So if we have stuff going on, we're going to have to change it. But I'll let you know. I should know. Well, it's going to be kind of last minute, but we'll work it out. Also, this airs on Wednesday, so tomorrow night is Lost in Comics doing their award nomination show. So tune into that one if you can. Live.
Give the guy all the people that showed up last week on our live stream. That was a lot of fun. Thank you very much to every one of you that were there, that watched. Let's see. I know Jeff Howell has reached out, said he would like to come on the show.
Yes,
love to have you, man. Kaiser, contact us. Let's get you on here, man. Let's do a list. We have to do is send us a DM on Twitter and tell us what you want to do. Even if we've done it, we can tweak it enough to make it different for us, and then you can do whatever list you want. So
right.
So
also was in contact with Mason from Comics and Crosses. He's interested in doing a show, so that'll be coming sometime in the new year. We'll get together with him as well. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to if you're watching and you want to be on our show, if you've been on it already and want to be on it again, let us know. Yeah, for sure.
Jared, you're going to be on. I know we're having a little weird scheduling conflicts with you and your vacation, but man, you'll be here soon enough.
For sure.
Soon enough, you'll be making fun of our lists.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So
okay. Yeah, that's all for me, except for shout out the usual Gathering of the Geeks. Lost in
Adam, you ever going to do another show?
Who?
Adam ever going to do Adam? Is he ever going to do another show? Seems like he's kind of slacking.
Yeah. Well, he owns everything already, so
he does. That's true.
I haven't used that.
All right. Yeah. Well, good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please leave comments. Hit that thumbs up button if you want, or the thumbs down button if you want. And as we leave you, I will leave you on an emotional high. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night.